pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll very quickly start off with May meeting minutes. Any questions, corrections, additions? Give everybody a moment.
I make a motion to approve the May 11th meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Yes.
Laura? Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn? Yes.
Okay, and then we have our June ledger. I did have one question. Can someone remind me, TCC excavating, was that something we did at the fire department?
Oh, yeah, that was the,
Doyer?
yeah, that's the other direction of doing that. We ran through that.
No pet paid for it. Oh, for the heating and air. Okay. Was it being called excavating? We were thinking it was digging.
I just didn't recognize what it was, and I wasn't sure about the Henderson, but that was the auger.
Yes, those are what we are.
Okay, those were my only
I was
questions.
right with that one.
Well, that's good. I was trying to figure out, like, sometimes the names don't always match up with what we talk about, and I get confused. So, any other discussion on that?
Nope, I make a motion to approve the ledger. Is that the June 26th ledger?
Yes.
Second.
I'll vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn? Yes.
All right. June 8th meeting minutes, I got emailed today. Emailing is great, but I have not had a chance to look at these. I would like to table these, and we'll get back to them at our next meeting unless anyone has opposition to that. Typically, we do the fire department later, but our chief who got his glamour shot today has to be at another appointment, so we're going to start off with the fire department.
All right, we'll start off with the easy stuff. I lost my sheet, so I have to use my computer. We had 47 calls in June, 13 fire-related calls and 34 EMS-related calls, and we really didn't have any fires or anything major or any significant car crashes, which is a good thing for a change.
What was the EMS number?
34.
34. Do you happen to have a total for the year so far?
I think we're right now I think we're like 244 maybe, 240. So, I'm not sure where we're at from last year. Last year we were a little slow. Let's see. All right, so I think I told you guys this last week, I'm not sure. We are implementing a training sheet, and it is, if I'll use Todd as an example, if he wants to go to some training class, it goes into my mailbox, we'll approve it, or bring it up here for approval, and go from there. That way it eliminates people from going out and doing something on the fly, and us not knowing about it. So, and also as a safety aspect, if they're functioning under our department, wearing our turnout gear, it's obviously if something happens and we don't know about it, it's going to fall under our workers' comp, so we need to just be aware of all that stuff.
Like a checklist of all the things they need to do.
That way we're aware of everything that's going on.
It is nice for us to know that it's approved by you before it comes to us.
Absolutely.
Because we want to make sure of that. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. So, and like that, we have a checkoff sheet that we've had out for a while, but it's never been implemented, but we've been trying to start going with the flow of that too for our new members too. They meet with us, come up here, get approved, and then they'll go through everything that we have to do down there, give them their SOGs and orientation, all this stuff. So just so everything's documented. So, the one thing I do have a question for Tracy. Did I give you the Hudson bill?
Yes.
Okay, so you have that?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a check too.
Okay, do you need a copy of the active 911 receipt?
Yes.
For the year?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll give it to you before I get up here. I would like to had the trustees authorize us $2,000 to set up an in-house class on a training session in regards to departmental members and township officials. And it would be through the Ohio plan, the same place we did like the sexual harassment and I think it was the fraud training session. So that's something I would like to set up probably for late fall. And I'm going to make all the officers take it, and also any member that wants to take it to me, able to sign up and take it as well. So,
That's an in-house training.
yes.
And what does the training encompass?
Essentially, it should go over how your body and our body should mingle and talk to each other and et cetera, et cetera. So,
And it's being put on by Ohio Plan, so
Yes.
we're paying for their instructor to come in.
yes.
Okay.
And I think he said he could do it in 1 day, so really,
I will make a motion that we allow up to $2,000 for the in-house training with Ohio Plan. I think that's great.
A second.
Yes.
Laura? Yes. Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn? Yes.
All right. We got the EMS grant too for a change. We got all of our documentation finally figured out. Unfortunately, since I've been here, we've been trying to get onto that with the state since I've been here, like I said, and they still have Miles on there that's at the point of contact and some other person I've never even heard of. So we finally got all that, a clean slate. So we're authorized for, I think it was $3,833. So the way that works is we'll buy all the stuff and then we gotta submit the receipts to the state of Ohio and they'll cut us a check. So that's how all that will go.
Awesome, congratulations.
This is start. I did reach out to, actually, let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. The guys participated on July 4th with a function on the lake, and I guess that went very good, yes.
We saw you out there with our own 2 eyes.
Yes.
Thank you.
We got our glamour shots.
Yes. Yeah, I took pictures.
Okay. The only other couple things I got, we're working on an open house for October for fire safety prevention. I reached out to Chief Garvin for the football games. I think we have 2 football games that we're going to cover this year with them. One of them is in September, I think it may be the 2nd maybe. I'm not sure what the date was.
Great.
We're also going to work on trying to get a walkthrough of the school before school starts typically. And if we can get that to happen as well. And we are signed up to go to the fair on 29th of August, I think from 10 to 6 p.m. And then I told them if they have more open slots, they will try and help them out a little bit. So,
I'm happy to hear that. That's great.
other than that, I think that's all I have that's important.
How are we doing with the stipend trial, the
I'm glad you
pilot?
brought that up. Really, really good. Obviously no department likes to drop any calls, but I think we've only dropped 2 or 3 calls collectively each month since we've done that. So it's going very well, and I would like to try and continue to do that for now because it's helping out quite a bit. We're throwing around some ideas to get our firefighters training too, but we have some more topics to engage in before we can pull the trigger on some of that stuff. But it's working out very well. Like I said, with you guys' blessings, we continue to move forward with that if you guys are okay with it.
I think it's great.
Yes.
So absolutely.
Do we need to make
people
a...
that do the big old sign up, like say Alicia signs up tonight and she responds, we'll still have some of our other, show up just to help out. So,
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we continue and make the pilot program permanent, the stipend program permanent, if that's working out well. I think that's great.
yeah,
I second.
Very well, actually. So,
Yes.
Laura? Yes. Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn? Yes.
does anybody have any questions, thoughts?
I have 2 things that come to my mind. It sounds like the bunker heating and air conditioning is installed,
Yes.
working fine. And do we have, I think we have some people here wanting an update on the turbo flow.
Oh, the turbo drop thing? Okay.
Yeah, that was on my list too.
Okay, before we talk about that real quick, I just
Sure.
forget, would you guys be okay if we bought a big fan for like, the functional areas of the station, just to play around, it's special in there?
So, yes, when we did the semi-quincentennial event, and maybe Nancy or Tracy, there was a big fan in the concession stand. Does that belong to the township or the
That's
civics,
mine.
or it's yours?
I brought it up for the apple butter that I'm cooking.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, well, we could use that one, but it's yours, so.
That's about the size we can use. that.
It's sitting there doing nothing, so.
Yeah, it's really stagnant over there, and just, if the board of pharmacy comes in, they're gonna be a little upset, because there's no air.
Yeah, we did get big on that last stack, it was so hot in there, but, I mean, even I wrote it up, it's.
Do you have an idea of a budget for that, $200,
I would
$300?
say, I think I was at the big farm store a couple weeks ago, and there was a big fan there for maybe under $250 maybe. So if you guys are okay,
Up to
him or I would
Yeah.
purchase it.
I make a motion, you guys can buy a fan up to $300.
Okay.
I'll second.
You want to vote?
Yes.
Laura? Yes. Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn?
And then if Tim wants you to use his fan, use that one too. We did use that on
It's
Saturday.
doing nothing, it's good.
And then you'll come.
The turbo flow.
The turbo.
Oh, yes.
Well, before we do that, I would, quick question, maybe you're gonna bring this up about the garage doors, but you gonna talk about that later as buildings and grounds? Okay. And then the life pack situation, you know,
The which part?
the life pack, I know we were.
Oh, the monitor?
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned at this point, I guess we just sit on it. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay.
I think we would be, I hate to say it, but I think we're throwing money away because, like I used the example last month with our new monitor, we're not touching our old, they just had to put it on the truck and use it until it breaks.
So, but we have what we need.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
So you have one new one and the old one?
Well, no, I'm talking about my work.
Oh, your work.
That's like a, I think it was $60,000 monitor.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
So-
Right.
Right.
We priced them at the expo, and they're probably 60 to 70,000.
Hopefully it'll come down in the next couple of years. So unfortunately, they're not going to probably face the ones that we have out.
Because I think we established the contract was not, we didn't,
Yeah,
That was
it's
not a
too
thing.
big, So that's the problem.
What about the contract for the striker cot and maintenance on it?
That, I don't remember off my head what it was now. I'll pull that up for next month.
All right.
Because we usually do all that stuff in the fall anyway, so I'll pull it up and we can talk about it at next month's meeting.
All right.
This will be with you guys.
sure.
So, okay, turbo drive.
Hi, yes, so we had discussed it a few meetings ago, and we wanted to see if maybe we could get all together and figure out our plan moving forward, because I think we had a little bit of confusion with the communication.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are all from the Berlin Lake Association, and we've been working primarily, thank you very much, for your time too, and some other people. Brian, I don't know where Brian is. But we have a proposal, and I'm going to turn it over to our Vice President, Joe Box, since he's done the lion's share of the work on the project, so to bring you up to speed with what we've done, and then see if we can work something out with the fire department.
Well, I primarily have been in contact with Brian and also with Vanessa at the Corps office here. And the first thing we did was we wanted to make sure we had permission to put some type of apparatus into the water and draw the lake water out in case of an emergency of fire. I will have something in writing. Vanessa promised me by the 15th of this month, so Wednesday we should have it in writing, telling us we can do a demo to demonstrate this pump, this turbo pump, and we want to do that so that we can show our members of the Lake Association where some of our funds are going and their membership dues. That's what you're getting out of it. I personally live directly across the street on Pearl Drive from Jim Anderson's fire. I was the one who actually walked out and called the 911 to, hey, we got an issue here. what I saw at that time was exactly what we have to do. We have to send a tanker in to a dry hydrant, bring the water in, and they put a pool in my driveway, and they were pumping out. So it gave us the idea to start working on something that they could draw from the lake. And we had a couple of obstacles and hurdles to get over, but we feel now that working with Brian and his research that we've got something that really could be an asset and a tool for the Berlin, fire department. So with the Lake Association, we were going to contribute a portion. We wanted you to contribute a portion. We need to establish exactly the dollars and cents, but now that we're not buying the hoses, it looks like the pump itself is going to be approximately $4,500. We were thinking, splitting that, and that would work out great. If you want to spend $4,000, we'll be glad to spend $5,000. But we are here trying to give you some money because we want to see this pump. Now, when I do this, we need something in writing also for the Lake Association saying that you're going to contribute, we'll contribute, and then we're going to give you the green light to go buy the pump that you spec out. We have a place on the lake that we want to do a demonstration on. It would be great if the distributor of this pump would give us one for show and tell to prove that it will pull the water up about 25 feet, because we're going to put it, and I don't know if you're familiar with, the landowner's name is Gaspar, and that's where all the fireworks are shot off at, right there in the cove. We want to do where you have a Deerfield fire truck back up into that driveway right at the bank, put the pump wherever you need to put the pump, put the hose in the water, and we want to film it. We want to do all kinds of great stuff for it. So PR for the fire department here and PR for the Lake Association and its members produce. That looks like it's, it's all coming together now. And Brian said that he'll be back from vacation. I guess he leaves tomorrow morning on vacation to go camping. But he's going to go out and inspect the area that we want to have the fire truck pull into. He said he would do that a week from this Wednesday. What is that? The
18th is Saturday.
20th or something like that. But, he would go there, and then we make the decision. Do we borrow, or do we have the distributor give us one so that we can do a show and tell and prove that it'll pull that water up the side of the hill out there and shoot? Or do we just go ahead and say, yep, it'll do it, buy it, bring it in, and then still do the demonstration on, in the next few weeks?
Get a demo.
The demo.
Get a demo.
Yeah, we definitely going to do a demo.
Well,
Do the demo.
Buy the demo.
Do the demo before you buy it.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense.
Yep,
Very much
that's
so.
what we want to do. So to do that, we need the fire department's help to work with the distributor to loan us one to do a demo, or there is supposedly one. I do not know the fire department. Brian knows that. He's been talking to them, and they have one. They would loan it to us, but we want it to be a Berlin fire truck on that bank there.
Deerfield.
Deerfield. Okay. Deerfield fire truck there, so that we can get all of that, and just we really want to promote the PR on it also. And also make sure that it works before we buy this thing and it doesn't bump it up the hill.
Sure. So, first of all, we really appreciate the outreach and all of the work that you've done looking into this. It's awesome. We were excited to partner with you about this. I would say in our May meeting, we did discuss this, and we had agreed to vote up to a certain, or to contribute up to a certain amount. But I think for us, and the way I understood it, and maybe Captain Bardelli can confirm this, the hoses would be good but not necessary. We have hoses that we can use for that at this time, and we could look at updating those down the road. I would personally, and we'll have to take a vote, be happy to pay for half. I think that would be a great, us getting together with the BLA and coming up with a great piece of equipment for the department. I did want to ask Chief Day if you had any further comments or concerns about any of that.
Just what I said last week, or last month's meeting, it's a great tool to work, to have to work for us. It's gonna be our mutual aid departments pulling it, why to drop it off, wherever, and they're gonna be the ones actually doing that. 'Cause it's gonna take a little bit of manpower to make all that happen. So, I think Ellsworth does have one that they might let us use, so we can reach out to them.
I'm on where it's distributed right now, so I'll go there and do it.
That sounds good. So, but like I said, we'll get there and do some flow testing and see what we can get out of the lake and the volume that we can get out of the lake and go from there. So,
Well, the hurdle bars are behind us now. Core is saying, okay.
Okay.
We got a letter coming. You're saying you'll split it with us. We're saying all we gotta do now is make sure it works.
And decide who's gonna be the star of the video.
Oh, we know who's gonna be the star of the video.
We'll have
Mr.
more.
Holland, this is something that we
We'll have-
your
so we
aid
would-
program is going to have to be trained on if we need
obviously,
it.
they would know what it does, but it will include it. It's like something.
So I'll make a motion that we pay half of the,
2,250? Would that work?
And that's approximate right now. I have not seen anything formal in writing, just the experts are telling me it's $4,500.
I thought it was about 4,300, so I think we're in the same ballpark.
Okay.
The one I have is for 38.
Just remember
You have
the
one
date.
for $38.95?
That's the one that Brian sent me.
Okay.
So,
But I think there were some
but
accessories
they'll
or
probably ping
something.
us on freight and stuff. too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys can have that.
Yes, and to be clarified, our contribution will match up to a certain amount, so 43, that's fine, we'll go half that. If it is over 6,000, getting, that 5 to 6,000 range, then let us know, because we have to get approval from our board.
sure.
But our contribution would be, yes, matching yours, and right now we're looking at 4,500 to be the total amount. If that changes significantly, we'll have to.
I don't see it
Okay.
changing, honestly.
Yes.
So I will second that.
I vote yes. Laura, yes. Tiffany?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's a plan, and we thank you for coming and coming up with the idea, and I'm excited to see how that works out.
Oh, hopefully it'll work.
I would like to,
Well, sorry. Yeah, well, let's, I think before we talk, start spending money, we'll get a confirmation letter. I'm sure we could get one from you. So my understanding is before anybody spends any money, we'll do a demo to make sure it works. Whether that's from the manufacturer or borrow it from something else.
correct.
But we do, at this point, we would need your help, because we don't have contacts
Oh,
that we have with
We'll set one up here
distributors.
in a couple weeks or so.
I think Todd.
And you would like a letter that says that we're contributing half of that money towards that for that
Right, and at
purpose?
some point before we expend any money, we'll need confirmation of final cost and what our half is.
Are you guys cool with us buying it and then cut off the top?
Oh, yeah, that's,
Probably the easiest solution.
If we were to do that, do you need the letter?
yes, because we have to have something in our file for our tax records
Okay.
to show, hey, we're contributing to, and however you word that. I mean, we can work on the wording if we need to.
Yeah, I can put together a letter if you just want to let me know where to send it.
We have a PO box, I don't know what it is. PO box 54, Deerfield, Ohio.
You want an email it or?
I don't know. It could be emailed to, it could be emailed to Bob Connor, BOBCONNER, at twc.com.
Okay.
Bob Connor at twc.com.
Yeah, that would be fine. Thank you.
Yeah, that shouldn't, I'll just send something over via email, and if that doesn't work for your needs, just let me know, and we can always redraft it.
And one more quick thing, I do want to thank the boat that was at our Music on the Water on July 4th. Very much appreciated your presence there. I think it was noticed by a lot of people. And thank you so much. Portage County was also there, but
The dive team had a boat out there also as well.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy that they weren't needed.
oh, yes.
Everything went
Yes.
smooth, you guys did a great job on organizing it and stuff. I think it was a great time.
And all of your trustees were there too.
Oh,
Very much.
Although we got
We
rained
got a
on all
little
the way
wet.
back.
oh, yeah.
Let's work on the weather next time, all right?
Yeah, Mother Nature, well, she held off till
She did.
3, come on.
One more thing real quick, and both Todd and Chief Day may be able to verify this to make sure, but when I was on the department for many, many years as chief, I recommended, especially for people on the lake, down in that area, that instead of calling 911, call the 2222 number. That 7-digit should still be in working order, correct?
Call 911, it gets bounced around a lot.
It gets bounced around. That 222 number will take you right to our dispatch. They'll answer right away, Deerfield Fire.
So that doesn't come to the station, that's going to
It
dispatch.
goes to dispatch, yes. That's the number that when you call 911 that they transfer to.
So
If it's the same, since they transfer.
2222.
I've never heard that before.
At school, we were taught
Yeah.
584-2222.
Now, since they moved to Portage County, that is still open, correct?
I
Chief?
believe so. Isn't it?
We could probably test it. But that way,
So we should promote to our members.
Correct.
Yes.
now the 911.
Fire emergency?
Fire emergency.
Fire
yes.
emergency.
Fire EMS.
584-2222.
The 911 was mainly for people who didn't know their address or where they were at. So, you know, it helped triangulate and you know, homes and that. But, you know, if you just put that in your phone as a contact for fire EMS, you know, I feel it gets there a little better, a little more accurate, because you're actually talking to somebody that knows where you're at.
Is that still the case since we've
Are we
switched
still good?
dispatch? Are we still with Dan?
Oh, Dan, sure.
I'm not 100% sure either anymore. That's why I was kind of just wanting to get
Can we look into that?
Let's call it.
Say somebody calls, see who answers.
Yeah.
Right. 911 will get you there eventually.
Would that be
Hey,
330?
No.
I called it 3 times, just call it, I'll be complete. Might be just-
So let's stick with 911 and hope the dispatchers get you there
We'll have to look
quickly.
into that. 'cause I
Well,
think
with our new dispatch system, it doesn't go anywhere, it goes right to PCSO and that's it, and they tell us out. If you look at, I know you guys pay attention to accuracy, if you look at where the call came out and the call was dispatched, it's within seconds.
Yes.
No, we understand that, but the cell phone towers still bounce
Right.
in that area, and I believe that was the issue with that fire. Because I heard a lot of the radio talk on it. I believe it went to the wrong
It
tower.
does go to Portage County.
2222?
Yes. I just talked to Langford up in
I
dispatch.
had at my old department, I had a house fire on a Super Bowl Sunday, and it actually, the 911 call went to Chicago, Illinois. And we were the worst people in the world when we showed up. I hate to say it's the police, but that's.
So is it good?
Yes.
Okay, it's good.
Dan, can you confirm that also when you go back to work and make sure that there's no hiccups? Because I know the line actually goes to the station, rings a bell, and transfers up. So, okay. But that's the number I use.
So I have, all right, do you guys have any other questions? Fire station?
Yeah. Two things. First of all, could you confirm or send us something, again, you can send it to that Bob Connor email address about this 584-2222
Sure.
thing? Because I don't want to promote it until.
Right.
Yeah, let's get a
Unless it's-
confirmation.
Unless we get a 100% confirmation. Thank you. And then, Joe, you had something?
If we want to move along a little faster with this, we don't need to wait until Brian's available a week from Wednesday. If you want to come on out to the lake by where we're talking about doing the demo, then we can move from there. And if we can get a demo or a loaner from somebody to test out the pump. But you did say it didn't have the pressure that you need, the volume.
No,
of
I'm
water.
saying we'll have to see if we can get the volume that we need to sustain what we're doing.
Yeah, that's going to be a setback.
Which might be a Band-Aid too, while, you know, the tankers are getting filled up too, so it's catch 22. So we'll play with it and see what it does. That's all.
You're probably not going to rely on that.
No,
Completely.
like I said, it could be a huge Band-Aid to help.
And like, the chief, I'm sure has already discussed with you, to save a house and to save people, it's the first truck with the water that it brings on the scene that's gonna determine whether it's gonna save or not. If we can put it out with that first 3,000 gallons, you know, everything else is just trying to save neighbor's house and stuff like that. So with these guys being trained and doing much better with their water movement, and I think we're on a good track with that issue. And then we got another truck with another, 1,000 gallons of water.
Right.
So
We
it's
have
4,000 gallons of water.
4,000 gallons in our station right now.
Yeah, 4,000 gallons of water showing up, that's great, it's awesome. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Anything else from you guys? All right, one thing
No,
I
thank
forgot
you.
to bring up was, I don't want to pick on Mark, but I heard you didn't figure it out. I haven't been calling. Ambulance or whatever, are you guys okay if, let's say that, I'm going to use him now as an example, let's say the squad's out of service, would you guys be okay if we let them use our second squad that we're not using?
Who?
Like,
Elmira.
or any of the departments around us?
I say yes, they're one of our number one mutual aid.
We borrowed squads, so.
Oh, yes.
I just want to make sure you guys are cool before we.
I'm good with
Or if
that.
something happens in the future, like I said, I
Yes.
haven't got to call you.
My only concern with that is we should probably just make a call to Ohio again if we're gonna do that and let them know so we're covered. But I think, you know, we've borrowed before, like Reese
Yeah.
saying,
No, I just want to make sure you guys.
helping them is helping us, because
Just let our insurance company know
Yeah.
what's going on.
So, okay. Well, I think that's all I have. Do you have anything there, Kelly? Any questions?
While the fire department's here, I just want to tell everybody how appreciative we are of all of the work you guys have been doing, the community outreach, like the Semi-Quincentennial, and just being there makes a big difference, and the parade, and it doesn't go unnoticed or unappreciated, so I just want to tell you all that. Thanks, Chief Day. All right, we'll move on to communications. I'll start off with you, Tracy. Do you have anything before we all carry on in communications?
No, I think that's this.
Okay, I think I did, and I think you all did too. We got communication from Otarma, our old insurance company. I am pretty secure with where we are now, but I think, you know, we're on good terms with Otarma, so we did get some information that we want to keep checking their rates and making sure we're getting the best deal. And then I have the 2 proclamations, but I'll let you guys go first if you have anything else.
I do have an invoice for dive rescue for the sonar class.
Yeah, we have it in here.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, Chief Day ended up reaching out because, no, I have copies.
You have
Thank
copies?
you.
Okay,
You
sure.
can keep that.
All right.
But yeah, we got that email and he had just contacted me the night before and said that somehow he found the email too. That we
Whenever I
hadn't
get them, I
got.
just forward them
That's
on.
good,
Yep.
that's good, because we don't always get them, so.
Right.
That's what's happening a lot of times with the fire department, it's going somewhere else, so thank you, and thank you for checking.
And then the other thing is I do have an invoice for the driveway installation for $24,500.
Okay?
I think what you had was an estimate, or it said estimate on the top.
Yes.
So I
And
can
he
resend
says,
it.
okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, that's what I needed.
Laura?
I don't have any correspondence.
Nancy? I just wanted to also share with the public that we actually received 2 proclamations about the semi-quincentennial event, just recognizing that Deerfield acknowledged what an important event it was and that we celebrated. One was given to us personally by Jill Crawford from the Board of Commissioners. They gave us a proclamation for our efforts to celebrate such an important milestone. And then we also received one from the state of Ohio, Heidi Workman, and it's just beautiful. We're going to get them framed and hang them up. But just a little bit of recognition that Deerfield celebrated such a wonderful event.
We have all of our commissioners there Saturday.
We did,
Yeah.
and all of the
Commissioner
commissioners,
Tisdale
Bruce
was there
Kowski
for
was here.
breakfast, Jill.
The
came
canine
for the reading of the
demonstration.
declaration.
We had a great turnout. I hope everybody had fun, and our fire department fed everybody, and we had
Yeah.
Tito's. Tito's got stuck, but besides that, it was a perfect day. They're great at making food, not so great at driving a truck.
Yeah.
And their truck broke down.
And their truck broke down. So
Radiator.
that's the worst thing that happened. It was a great day. I don't have any other communications. Do we have any guests or speakers?
We
No,
do.
we have public commentary.
We have public commentary.
Okay.
We have Matt Kelly, our Portage County Auditor.
All right.
You want to come up? You
Podium, you have the floor.
Well, I don't really have anything prepared, but I can, you might have some questions about
Oh, we might.
fire
Yeah,
levy
yeah.
or-
We've got that on our agenda.
I can tell you just briefly about some property taxes, which that's usually what people ask me
Sure.
about. So,
Right.
tax bills for Portage County, the second half are delayed right now. The reason for that is there was so much legislation, all good stuff, not as much as what is needed, but what they did pass last November took effect this past March. And that, through these, the software we have in the county and in most counties around Ohio, just couldn't navigate through those calculations. Now, should that software company have been prepared? We've been talking about this forever, they weren't prepared for that. So we had already, before this happened, started looking at other software that our office here in Portage County could use, and the auditor's office, we're already going down that road to look at other software companies, but we have what we have. It's a long transition to go from something you've had for 20, 25 years to some new software that I think is great. But the request for that bid went out this past Friday, and we hope to move to that here pretty soon. But the current situation is they're trying to work on a workaround for this House Bill 186 and some other bills that came out that passed that are now legislation. So hopefully those tax bills come out sooner rather than later. We asked for an extension until August 31st. Hopefully it's before that we get the information we need out of that software to get our tax bills out. So just know, if you want any more details beyond that, I've posted an explanation on the auditor's website, as well as the treasurer has posted the same information on their website. So that's the situation we're in right now. It's great that Columbus did something about property taxes. I'll tell you my opinion as an auditor and personally, I think abolishing property taxes sounds great, but that's not the way to go. We need massive reform. We don't need to throw out, what we're doing now to fund fire departments and the veteran services and just, townships, just all the things we need here in the county are taken care of by property taxes. So we definitely need to reform, 100%. We need a better way to do it, what that looks like. I have my opinions on that. It'd be a long discussion if I went into that, but we definitely have to do something. I can tell you the Columbus legislature is not going to do anything until we figure out who the new governor is going to be. So because there's a lot of ideas on both sides of the house as far as whoever gets into office want to do. So when that happens, I think there'll be a lot of legislation, a lot of ideas thrown out there as far as what tax reform there is. I think it'll all be good. I know Vivek Ramaswamy's talked an awful lot about property taxes. One of his ideas when he first comes in is to revert back to 2020 property values, which because of the legislation that we have, that would bring your taxes down because your value would go down. And to me, that's one thing they need to reform is the fact that everybody here likes to take my house is one of my biggest investments, right? I want to take care of maintaining it, mowing the lawn, making sure it's in good repair and everything's working and everything like that. The penalty you get for doing that is it raises your value, which raises your taxes. That's not right. I agree with that. That's pretty common sense. Some other things that I think should happen. So a separation of that would be nice, if not completely, at least significantly. And then the homestead exemption needs to be a little more robust compared to what it is now for veterans and over 65, as well as the owner occupancy. So those are all things that I've talked to our state legislators about. Heidi Workman and Steve Demetrio. They've heard from me about what my opinions are, and I get a lot of good advice and good guidance from the County Auditors Association of Ohio. They're great. I mean, there's a lot of good auditors around the state that we all come together twice a year and throw good ideas and who's doing what in a good way, and can we match that, or here's an idea over here from an auditor that's been in office for quite a while and has some experience, so I've gotten a lot of good ideas out of that, but our legislators listen. That's one thing that I really, really like. It's not their, hey, I'm, represent Portage County, I'm gonna do what I want. They're not like that. I talked to Heidi quite a bit. I was actually texting her before I came into the meeting tonight just about some property tax stuff. And they listen and they take that stuff down to Columbus. Problem with that is there are 2 people out of X amount of people down in Columbus, so, and they have a voice and they're heard. And when I hear, it's not just me giving it, my opinion either, it's what I hear from citizens that I talk about. The auditor's office, my office has, just this past Saturday, we had a booth out on the Ravenna 250 celebration to answer questions for people. We'll be at the Ravenna Balloon Fair on the street. The auditor's office will be, as well as the Portage County Fair, Randolph County Fair will be at the, we'll have a booth there. So if you want to know about unclaimed funds, if you want to know what, hey, am I on the homestead exemption? I can't tell you how many people think they have the homestead exemption. When we pull them up, well, you're not. You moved and it fell off and you thought you got it, and we can sign you back up for that now. So that's some of the stuff we can do when we have our auditor's office booth on the street, we call it. Those are some of the events that we'll be at here in the next couple months. So, and as always, my cell phone that I have, the one I have right over there on that chair, when you call my cell phone on our website, you're going to get me. You're not going to get a menu. There's a number that you can call, and hey, I need real estate assessment or whatever. But the cell phone number that's on there under my name will get me direct. If I don't answer right away, I'll call you back. So, Laura's contacted me a bunch of times, and which is great. I want to hear. That's why I like going to township meetings, to hear the business of the town, of the county. You always hear it at the township meeting. So I appreciate coming and hearing what you all are doing. So.
Can you tell our residents about the 20 mil cap? We're in the Southeast Local School District, and our district is at a 20 mil cap, which means a savings for our residents in the school district.
Mm-hmm.
There's other school districts in the county that are not on that. Can you explain
well,
how
it's
that
a 20 mil
works?
floor. So once
20
you hit,
mil floor,
yeah,
yes.
once you hit 20 mils, you can't go below that 20 mil floor. That's a calculation that Columbus does. That comes out of House Bill, I want to say 192, way back in like the mid-1970s that they came up with. And quite honestly, that's been the problem for the last X amount of 30 years, is we've had the same things evolve. And economies change, and just things change over the course of years. Well, you can't take legislation that we passed back in the mid-70s, and I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. But now that's why all that legislation came in here at the end of last year to change how that kind of works. It's still existing somewhat, but the 20 mil floor, there's a calculation that says, hey, schools are going to get, if you're at the 20 mil floor, you are never going to get less than that, meaning you're going to hit that floor, whether what was calculated would go below that or not, the school is never going to go below that 20 mil floor. So that's where you're talking about, when you're talking about like unvoted millage, we are required by the state, by legislation, to bring your property taxes back up to what the school would get for 20 mils. Even if what you would get is below that, is a school district. So that's how that works. And the intention was good so that schools have funding to be able to operate, but I think the way it's working now with home values and stuff like that, it's not sustainable to be able to do that. They're talking about some reform of the 20 mil floor, doing away with it, tweaking it, whatever that may be. I'm sure that'll come with the new governor. But right now, I forget how many school districts are on the 20 mil floor. You guys are
Yes.
here, your school district. So that's good. You're probably one of the entities that are going to see some relief here in the second half.
I went to coffee with the commissioners,
Yeah.
and they talked about that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if we were or not, but a quick text to Mary Kaylee from the school board confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes, we're on the 20 mil floor.
Yeah.
So our residents should have some reduction.
You should.
Yes.
And that's your taxing entity, which, by the way, in an Ohio context, so not really on the same topic, but kind of. Think about this as we go forward with property tax legislation. Ohio has the statistic that I heard was we are the highest in the nation as far as taxing entities in the state of Ohio. And I'll give you a good example of this, is if you get in a wreck, let's say in downtown Ravenna or something like that, You could potentially have the state highway patrol show up, Ravenna police show up, the Portage County sheriff show up, maybe Brimfield show up, maybe Kent show up. And trust me, I am law enforcement friendly and I love law enforcement. Do we need that many entities that we're paying taxes for, and most of us in Portage County, paying for those entities? Do we need that? And I bring that example up. Is there possibilities, is there opportunities to consolidate services in the county? Do schools need a treasurer for each school? Or could you share that service where two schools share the same treasurer? And I'm not saying I don't know, I'm just saying the current system is unsustainable. We cannot keep expecting people, like our home values went up on average in the county 32.8% on our last revaluation, which was in 2024. We're going to go through a triennial revaluation here in 2027. A triennial is every 3 years, and what we look at is a statistical analysis of the county. We don't go out and do like a eyes on the property. We do a statistical analysis. Every 6 years, we're required to do what we did in 2024. So I said it, I remember it's on YouTube, I remember being here at Deerfield talking about if we don't do something here in 2024, we're going to do the same, we're going to be in the same situation we are now in 2030. So yes, the legislators did something here in November. I don't think it's near enough. It was a nice try, but new governor, maybe some new legislators, we really have to accelerate the difference we're doing in property taxes. So that's I'm here to talk to you all about it, but what I ask of any groups I ever going to talk to, contact your state legislators. They represent you. Email them, call them, bother them. Call me, I'll call them, whatever. But that's what they get paid to do. Is they're our representatives. We pay them to represent us. Call them, tell them it's not enough. They know. They've heard it from me. They need to keep hearing it. Hearing that property taxes are a big deal. If that's not the number one or number two issue on in the upcoming legislature with the new governor, then they're wrong down in Columbus. It needs to be the number one thing they're thinking about. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Question.
Yeah.
Real quick, with the delay in the taxes coming up, how's that, or will that affect our budget? As far as getting our money in?
It may. And that's the scary part, is I know you need money to operate the township, obviously. But yeah, that's why we are, Joe Beek, our treasurer, I just saw an email from him to MVP, the software company, saying that this is, like, at the very least, give us communication on what's going on. Give us a timeline on when this fix is going to happen. This isn't just Portage County. There's a lot of counties that are going through this right now. So to get that tax distribution, we have to have that fix on the software. To me, in my mind right now, it's a breach of contract because we expect a service, and I know there's going to be bumps in the road, but it is way, I'm coming from private industry where they would have been sued and out of business by now if they did this to a private industry, and they're a private company. And they're doing it to a county right now. Townships, they're doing it too. So yeah, I mean, we're fighting to get them to do what they're supposed to do. Again, I'm going down the road of different software, but we have what we have right now that we have to work with. So yeah, that's a reality. So we'll get it to you as soon as we possibly can, trust me.
Keep us updated.
I will, yeah. And feel free to call anytime.
Okay. Laura will call you.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I'm not familiar with the state legislation that you're referring to. Will it affect the property tax bill itself, raising it lower? Well, can't possibly raise it anymore. Will it lower it?
Well, so the software issue is calculating all the bills that took effect in March, okay? So it's not, the only reason it's an issue right now is that calculating taxes is very complicated. The girl in our office that does that, it's just very complicated. So what I'm saying is, your taxes are going to be correct, it's just we're delayed in getting them to you because of the software issue. Is that what you're asking?
Well, I don't know, you keep referring to the legislation as being the issue that's causing the delay. I'm not familiar with the legislation. How does that affect the property tax bill?
Well, legislation that took effect, so legislators down in Columbus passed, I think it was 5 bills, and I don't have my notes on the 5 bills, but it was a bunch of, there was a 20-mil floor in there was a, it's capped at 3, there's a bunch of property tax initiatives in those 5 bills, okay? so then you take what is legislated now, which is law, and apply it to our property tax bills, which is what we're doing now. Our software does that for the county, okay? It was not able to handle as many calculations as what it was asking it to do. We were
Will
asking
it
it to do.
lower, raise
It
the
should
bill?
lower.
I know our
The legislation should
Based on
lower.
what Laura said, so the legislation, it's tax, I don't want to say it's complicated to say, because when people hear that, hey, our second half, like, let me back up. There was a communication that went out a little while ago saying, don't pay your second half tax bills because you might not owe as much, and you're gonna go the whole rest of the year without overpaying your taxes. Now you gotta wait for a refund or a credit into your taxes.
Okay.
What I would say is like your, how should I explain it? The legislation is giving, in your case, it's tax entity specific. So if you are supposed to get a tax reduction based on the legislation, you will in the second half taxes.
Oh, okay.
And I say that because, yeah, it sounds like because of the school district you're in being at the 20 mil floor, that's one part of the legislation that will give you tax relief.
So, okay.
Go ahead. I've heard every
I guess
time.
I'll just wait for the bill and try to figure it out.
If you
Well,
go
it's-
on Heidi Workman's Facebook page, Heidi does really good videos that explains everything.
Yeah. I can't.
As soon as stuff stuff gets passed, she goes on and explains it.
I get that, I'm trying to figure out what my bill's gonna be.
Well, see-
because I already had a 60% increase
Yeah.
in my bill, which I still don't quite understand
Yeah.
how the heck you all were able to do that. Okay.
Well, I didn't do it personally.
Well-
I'm administrating the legislation. that's
Somebody
passed
did
in
it.
Columbus did it. Columbus did it. I'm not sure
No,
their responsibility. I'm just
Columbus didn't do
saying,
it.
they're the
It was
legislature.
done in Portage
But what-
County.
the
Wait,
reason-
I'm sorry, I don't want to take up your time.
Heidi Workman told
You
us
can,
some
you
of
can
the...
make an appointment with Matt and go up
Yeah,
and speak.
that's fine.
Heidi Workman told us when she was here that some of the counties said to Columbus, no, we're not doing it. We're just not doing it.
Not doing what?
Raising the property
as
taxes
much
the
as
way they
Portage
did.
County.
That's what she told us in the last meeting.
I don't well, I
I'm trying to
can't.
understand that in the legislation and what it's gonna do to my darn taxes.
The reason I can't answer your specific question is because I don't know your tax, I don't know your taxing, I don't know your address, what your taxing situation is.
Well, we probably need to talk because our road isn't serviced by Portage County, our ditches aren't serviced by Portage County.
Right.
I'm not serviced by a Portage County school, but my Portage County taxes went up.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Okay, that's
So
fine. I
I'll tell
won't
you
take
what.
any more time. I appreciate your time.
Real quick, just email me your address, and I'll walk right through your tax bill with you, why you're paying, what taxes you're paying and why.
We will, thank you. I
But your second half taxes, I don't know yet because that software is not calculating what it is. Okay? So that's the hang up right now.
If it makes you feel better, I believe most of the House bills were put in place, the new 5-1, to help reduce the strain for most people. So most likely, for most people, it will be better.
I will.
But I don't want to tell you yes, and then you get your tax bill and say nothing went down.
All right.
It's
Thank you.
taxing
I'm
entities,
sorry.
you know, it's specific to that.
I
Yeah.
didn't mean it all on the answer.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I was almost thinking maybe we should kind of move into our fire levy discussion while you're here with us.
That'd be a great time.
We do have a fire levy that we need to renew and discuss because our deadlines are coming up and we need to get that together. So I know Laura was on the phone with you today getting some numbers together. Do you want to go over those, Laura, or?
Yeah, I have
Okay,
it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is based on per $100,000 of evaluation. Currently, our existing levy, our residents pay $31 per 100,000 eval. So that would be our renewal. Now, that generates, our existing levy will generate $112,676. Now, the gal that called me from the auditor's office, and I wasn't completely understanding how this is. She said that renewal is currently getting the benefit of a rollback from the state.
Okay.
Can you explain that a little bit to us?
I can't.
So our residents aren't paying 100% into that. They're getting some kind of a tax reduction on that.
On the levy, on the renewal?
On the current, on the renewal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just heard that she got you her numbers, or the numbers you needed.
She did.
I'll ask her specific about that whole
Yeah,
thing.
okay. So if we add a 0.5 mil, half a mil, in addition to our, like, there's no longer replacement levies.
Right.
That's
Right.
off the books. You can't do a replacement
Per
levy.
legislation.
That ends per legislation. So it would be renewal plus
Okay.
half a mil would be an additional $18 a year.
Per $100,000 of evaluation.
Yes, everything is always per 100,000. If we do 1 mil additional, it would be an additional $35 a year. Okay, so the 0.5 mil in addition would generate another $56,454, and a 1 mil in addition would be $112,907. That is the money that's generated for the township, for the fire department. So,
Can either Nancy or Tracy tell us when's the last time we've changed this levy, that we've increased any of these amounts? Because I
We just did the last one, but.
No, the last, I'm talking about this
1.75.
one. Yeah, the
Yeah, this one.
1.75.
Yeah, it's been,
10
yes,
years.
it's been a while.
Since there's been any change
Yeah, it's
in that
always been
income.
just where we just kept the same
Right.
okay.
by the paperwork.
This
we
is the
have.
1.75 that
Yes.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with the fire levy.
And I think August, is it August 9th, I think is the deadline?
August 5th.
August 5th.
Maybe 15
Right.
years,
So
it's
we
been
have
a while.
to do a resolution of necessity tonight, and then we have to submit all of that to the auditor's office, right? That goes to the auditor's office.
So, I mean, in the last 10 or 15 years, I know we can all attest to prices increasing, and, you know, all the prices have increased for the fire department as well. It's hard for us to keep things going and safe, and we have a lot of equipment that's going to need updated. We have some remodeling that needs done. The fire department, thank goodness, is growing, so that's always good, and we're trying to do more shifts and possibly double up. So, I mean, I think a renewal at minimum, but that's, you know, we're talking $2010, not $2026. But I'll open that up for discussion if anybody has anything they'd like to talk about with that, including you, Tracy, and you're our money person, so.
Trying to pull up the different steps. You have to do resolution of necessity, then it has to go to the auditor's office for
Yeah,
review.
Armstrong should be able to
Then we-
help us.
Yeah,
We'll
then we have
take-
to
we'll
do
take our old one
a
and
resolution
update
to
it.
approve it, and then all of that goes to the Board of Elections. We did the same thing.
Yeah.
Last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
We know, we've done it.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know you were gonna bring that up, but we'd have brought the folder in,
well,
that we would have known that,
our next meeting will be after the deadline
Yeah.
to have that submitted,
So we
so
really
we have
don't have
to
any
get
more
that
time.
done.
so we might, yeah,
We might as well get it done.
resolution and get it over.
A resolution of
Yes.
necessity.
Yes.
Well, before we make a resolution, we have to decide if we want to do a renewal or a renewal plus, and if we do a renewal plus, where that lands.
It's our residents, if we do a half a mil, they'll pay $18 a year more per 100,000 you vow.
$31 plus the 18.
Yes,
Right.
they're already paying 31, and it would be an additional 18, and that would generate an additional 56,454.
And this is always a hard decision, because, you know, we're all taxpayers here too, and we all feel overtaxed, but at the same time, in my mind, emergency services are number one priority that we have to keep staffed and keep going, so.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say, and you guys can let this fall on the floor if you want to, if you want to do something different. But I would like to move and make the resolution say that we would do a renewal plus of 0.5 mil, which would be a small burden on the taxpayers, but would give us enough to keep up with inflation.
$18 per
18, correct, so.
100,000.
Right, you know, I realize that many people's houses are much higher valued, so it does cost them a little bit more. But I want to make sure we have somebody to show up when we call, and that we have all of the tools that we need for them to do their job safely. So
Does the fire department have any comments
Yes.
Well, I knew there was some questions I heard over here when Derek was talking about our life pack.
Yes.
So I would like to explain for people what a life pack is. Our life pack is the first piece of equipment that we carry in from the ambulance when we get a call to your home. That life pack is what tells us what heart rhythms you have. If you're having a cardiac arrest or something, that is what is a defibrillator. That also does blood pressure, that does your oxygen saturation. So it's a very, very important piece of equipment that we need to have on both of our ambulances. And as Derek was explaining, the two that we have are past their serviceable life expectancy, basically. And so to get new ones that are what we per se should have, they're about $65,000 a piece. So if you look at $65,000 a piece, you're looking at $500,000 is going to...
It wouldn't even pay for one life pack.
Exactly. And it's something that's very important, that if we get that call, you're having a heart attack or something of that nature, stroke, that's that first piece of equipment we carry to basically have a look-see at what's going on with that individual.
And the way I understand it, and maybe you can help us clarify this too, if whatever we put on the ballot were for whatever reason not to pass, we could put it on next year and we can still have we can put it on in May.
They should be, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
we
more of
could-
a questions question, but I'm sure you can put it on.
Put it on in November, if it goes down, we can put it on again in May.
And
What I understand,
reevaluate
yes.
or try to
Yes.
ask again.
It's like school.
Yes.
Sure.
So
But I
what
mean,
you're
to-
telling me
but
is
to
you really
lose-
could use a 1 mil levy.
Well, I'm opening it up to discussion.
You look at the big picture also, it's not just the life pack. We have 2 squads that are out there, we have a tanker that's over land. It's not getting nothing out there too. If you do a custom build on it, and right now you're looking at $1.5 million with a 4 or 5 year lead time. If you buy one right off the line, this is just a run of the mill, you're still looking at $750,000 a year.
And that's why we tried to, we bought the one we bought last year.
Right.
To try and make do and save money. and
Because
still
we don't buy new
accomplish
equipment, we try to
what
buy
we
used
need to.
and, right.
Used trucks,
Yeah.
we do all used.
But unfortunately, there are certain things like the life pack, I wouldn't necessarily advocate to buy used.
Right.
That's in my
Because then you're not
opinion,
getting
for that
the life
situation.
out of it.
Another thing is a Lucas device, which the Lucas device is what you utilize basically for CPR. It's a device that provides chest compressions if we need to do CPR. We only have one of those. We really need 2, one in each ambulance. The one we have is just about past its serviceable life as well. We need to get a new one of those. Those are in a ballpark of $15,000 to $25,000, depending on what brand you get. So these are all things that we really have been using to try to, maximize life expectancy of them. But should God forbid something happens, one gets dropped or something like that, we're going to need to get a new one, and they're not cheap.
And we try to do,
10 years is what you're supposed to have.
and we try to do grants to make up the difference, and we try to do
Right.
fundraisers and grants to try to relieve some of the taxpayer burden. But yes, everything costs exponentially more than it used to.
Right.
And there are
And it
things that we
goes
just
up.
can't go without.
And it goes up every year.
And we're constantly relying on grants to pay for things too, just, to try to relieve the burden of the taxpayers, so.
If I'm reading our ledger fund correctly, we've already spent for the fire department so far this year, $251,000.
Well, and I didn't even talk about payroll to
Right.
keep somebody's
Yeah, and that's
compensation.
payroll, everything
The
else. Some of that
fuel,
stuff
right,
was purchased for grants,
Correct.
but that's still, halfway through the year, we've already spent that much money.
Right.
So when that goes on the ballot, or is this called renewal plus 1 mil? Is that how it's labeled? How
I mean,
how
Board
would
of
that be
Elections
labeled?
will determine the language that goes in there, but it should, you should, I guess, communicate it as well, what you're talking, so that people understand that ballot language can get confusing sometimes. So I would work with the Board of Elections on the wording, I'm not sure how, but people have to understand what they're voting for.
Right.
I'll say Tracy's probably aware of this, but what I see a lot of townships, going back up, There was legislation out there that didn't pass because the County Auditors Association was really against this. Because they were on the budget commission, which the prosecutor, the auditor, and the treasurer sit on. So every budget that comes in to the county, townships, and schools, and so forth, there's the three of us look at these budgets and say, okay, yeah, that makes sense, all right? And there was legislation out there saying that, hey, if there's a carryover balance of unencumbered funds, meaning money that's not committed to anything, in the budget, in their budget, carryover of 30% of their regular budget or more, then the budget commission has to say no to that particular budget. And we said absolutely not, because we reached out to fiscal officers around the townships and schools. You're probably going to save up. Let's say you do the $500,000 and you get $56,000 a year now coming in. You won't be able to buy that life pack next year, but
we can
probably
use that
if you
money
need it, you
the
carry it
following,
over.
yes.
You say, you know, now we have 112,000 in 2028. You can buy that life pack and then the other piece of equipment you're talking about. And the same goes for fire trucks. A lot of times I see townships carry over for 5, 6, 7 years to buy that fire truck for $750,000. So we are adamant that you cannot do that to these townships and other entities, and townships mostly, because in my opinion, I think county fiscal officers are probably the most diligent that I see. The school boards are great too and stuff like that, but you really have a handle on like what the township needs and how to get to that point.
Yes.
From A to B. So that's the input that we have to legislators down in Columbus. They think it's a good idea. Hey, you got 30% or more, you're not even committing that money? No, send that budget back and tell them fix it. No, they're doing that for a reason, so they're carrying over money so they can buy the stuff they need that they don't have enough money for in 1 year. So just a little bit of legislation, process to have. So, anyway.
I mean, Tracy, did you want to chime in?
No, I'm good, he's telling the truth, I'm good.
Okay. I'm not calling him a liar, just to make sure you get a
No,
chance to speak about the money.
It's true,
Right.
it's true. Townships are the ones that carry over the money, and it's like we spoke at the Township Association meeting, that if we're gonna have to carry over, if we can't carry over money,
Right.
let us know, because we're gonna spend it.
Yeah.
I have talking points on the legislation that was passed last year at the Township Association.
Yes.
So I didn't bring that tonight. I can at a later time or whatever, but by the time I gave that speech, you're going to have a new governor, and I'm really interested to see what happens in November.
There'll be a lot of changes.
With either Amy Acton or Vivek Ramaswamy. And, I know I'm going to vote for, but that needs to be, if you're looking at things on who to vote for, look and see what each of those candidates are doing for property taxes. Because if that's on the top of their list, legitimately on the top of their list, and not just talking about it, they're actually going to walk the walk and talk the talk, then you need to vote for the candidate that's actually for property tax reform. Abolish the taxes. I love that that group put that forward. It's great to see like a grassroots movement do something, because I think that was a lot of the reason the legislation did anything, right?
Sure.
I don't agree with what they were doing, but I respect the process.
It got people's
I respect-
attention.
it got
in the right
their attention.
direction.
That's exactly right. And I'm county auditor, and I completely disagree with the way property taxes are. It's a cluster that has taken layer after layer after layer of bureaucracy for the last 30 or 40 years. And the way we fund schools is unconstitutional per the Ohio Supreme Court. So there's so many red flags with our system.
Things are going to change.
They have to change. It's not sustainable to do what we're doing now.
And our schools take 64% of our property taxes.
Well, you saw it before we saw it, with your mom and dad in a different county.
Yeah, so they had their reappraisal right before Portage did, and I saw what their tax bill was, and I'm like, I saw what their valuation is, I should say.
I saw what Mahoney's was, they just did theirs this year.
But when they were talking about ours, Matt said that he knows what, because of his mom and dad.
Right. Well, with all of this being said, I'll let you go ahead. Yeah.
Did you have?
Well, I would like to retract my motion, because in thinking of that, I think that our residents are very supportive of our fire department. I think they support it because that's a priority to them too. And if we reach out to our voters and they tell us no, we can come back in May and make an adjustment. But I would like to retract my first motion, my resolution, and I would like to change that. Because I think that's what the people will prioritize. I would like to move that we renew our 1.75 mil and add a 1 mil plus. That way, we are able to sustain primary function of what we need.
What was that 1 mil plus, Laura?
It was $35
I
per
thought that was the half.
100,000. No, the
No,
half was 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wrote down one, thank
So
you.
that would bring in an extra 112,970, which
Yes.
would help us with those packs and to double up staffing and do the things we want
Would
to
really
do.
help the fire department.
And we'll ask the people if that's what they want to.
Yep.
Do you, Tracy, do you have an opinion that you would like?
I'm okay with this.
Because like I said, you see the checkbook more often.
Yeah,
than
And
you
we haven't made a change in 10,
Yes,
15 years. I
that's-
mean, we have to do something.
I second that motion.
I'll vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn?
Yes.
And just to let the public know, and I believe most of the fire department knows this, the trustees are not legally allowed to promote or campaign for this. We have to be neutral in this. Just letting you all know.
Now, you can check with the Board of Elections. You can't vote for the fire levy signs. You gotta let, but you can say support the fire department.
Thank you, Matt.
Just
I'll say one more
something
thing.
generic.
Just for the
Right.
public's
Yeah.
education, on the auditor's website, there's a little option that says tax estimated. So if you plug into that, you can put your address in there. This is what I was talking about specific, like you can plug your address in there, and whatever you have on your ballot, so Deerfield, you guys put this on,
Yeah.
when that comes, when voting time comes, some weeks before, you can go into that tax estimator, put your address, and it'll bring up if whatever's on your ballot passes, a fire levy, a school levy, whatever that may be, it'll be in there to say, if these all pass, here's now what your tax bill is gonna be. So it's just a great tool to go in there and understand, I wanna vote for this or don't. That's just the money part of it. I'm 100% personally, I live in Suffield, support my fire department. If there's a levy, I'm gonna vote for my fire department, just like I'm sure a lot of people out here in Deerfield do also. But the important thing that I see is the education of voters knowing exactly what's this gonna cost. When we talk about $100,000 houses, that's kind of a hard calculation when it's like, oh, my property's valued at 437 or 268 or whatever. They can go specifically in there and say, here's my address, here's what my tax bill is gonna change if all these levies on here pass. So.
And I think our goal is to be very transparent with the taxpayer, what it will cost them and why we need that.
Yeah,
That's why we have all
And
our
where it's gonna be
numbers.
used.
Right.
That's exactly why we have booths on the street to answer people's questions and be
Sure.
transparent.
And the good news is, when most people will see a reduction. When they
Yes,
get
yeah.
their second.
Most, that's
So
why.
hopefully that release
So that
right.
kind of will help people, like, oh, it's not so bad.
They'll get a reduction in the second half of tax just on the legislation that passed.
Right.
But then whatever happens with the governor coming in,
It could be more.
it could
Sure.
be, I would expect it better be more, put it that way. They're not gonna last very long.
Right.
People are tired of it,
Yep.
of property tax increases.
Thank you. That was
Thank you
very
so
helpful.
much,
You
Matt.
picked a great meeting to come to. Thank you. All right. Let's see, where were we? Public commentary. Did we have anyone else? I mean, that was really not public commentary. That was a guest speaker, but
That was education.
that was education. Any other public commentary? No, anyone signed up?
No.
All right, we'll move on to the road department. We'll give the floor to Mr. Studeman.
Short and sweet list today. We used up some stone, doing some culvert pipes, I'd like to replace that, get that back in, stock. It's only 2 loads of the limestone 411, estimated $750 to $800 a load. So, I want to see if we can through 2 of those loads. The estimated cost is $1,600.
I make a motion.
Where exactly are we
Approve
putting
2
that?
loads.
The stones and stuff that we use it on some culvert replacements.
Oh, okay.
So
We'll keep a pile in stock.
Yeah, I just try to keep stock.
Fill
If
in around the
Use that
pipes
box.
and
there's an issue,
stuff.
washout, something like that, I like to have someone.
Laura made the motion.
I made the motion. We're waiting for a second.
Second.
Thank you.
I'll vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Yes.
Getting a chance to.
Okay, salt price, I know a while back we discussed, we put the contract in, for put in up to 200 tons for the contract. So that was, the numbers finally came back in. It came in prices for Portage County at $59.87 a ton. We put in up to 200 tons, so we take, we're going to take 90% of that at minimum, or up to 110%. So the 200 tons would be estimated cost of $12,000 for the salt contract for the year.
For the whole 200 tons? And we have to take at least 90% of that. I make a motion that we go ahead and purchase that salt, or enter into that contract.
Didn't we already?
I thought we already did.
Well, we did pass, we did the resolution on it, but I want to make sure everybody's aware of what the cost is, because it just came in.
Yeah, we already did it.
We didn't
have prices,
prices.
nobody had prices.
Okay.
So, but we had to do the resolution to be
Right,
able
to get
on
the bid.
Yeah.
To do the bid. Okay, all right, I understand.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Next thing is just a talking point, nothing to move on anything, but, so the 3 years ago, we got rid of that 97 low pro dump truck that was nickel and dime us, and we never actually replaced it with another plow truck. So currently, we have the International Max Force and the F-450. In the event of a breakdown during a winter storm, or if it is a heavy snow, we have an issue, or a little light on snow removal equipment. So don't need anything extravagant, but wanted to try to talk about just bringing that to you guys' attention to possibly look into getting something for the near future as a more or less either a backup truck or a newer one to replace or use one of our older ones as a backup. So the store's got some decent plans right now. None of the full-size trucks will work because our garage doors aren't tall enough.
Right.
So without having to do a lot of.
What were they, the Western Stars were the only ones that made them short enough to fit in the garage?
So no, the Western Stars are too tall. Freightliner has some that has a light front end on them that really probably would walk really good for one of those plots. So we just looked at something comparable to what the low pro was, on weight rating and everything. So.
What would your intention be if we were to get a new truck? Would you get rid of one of the others, or would you?
No, so the low pro went and it never got replaced.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
We've been able to get through, but I sweat a little bit when we get snow coming in for hours.
The other truck is not big enough to push it down the roads. We can only do.
The little side roads?
Yeah, side roads and stuff. So if the big one breaks down, we don't have anything to push it.
Something intermediate.
And we've had it before, and like I said, they had to sell it because it was unrepairable.
Right.
And we talked then about possibly replacing it in the future. So I asked him to get some numbers so that we can start looking at our budget and seeing what we can do. Because I had no idea what it was going to cost to do such a thing. Now, the numbers you give us, that was just the truck?
No, that was with upfits. So that's the stainless bed, salt spreader, a plow, and a bead box.
So that's out the door, you jump in and go, okay.
Yeah. And if it happens to be one of those, an F600 with upfits at $135,000, or an F650 with upfit at $165,000. The F650 essentially, I think it's more than the intermediate in between, but at the same time, it's not. I don't know if it's necessary for that extra $30,000 for what this specific truck would be used for. And with that, if we did go that route for sake, we could run with the municipal lease or that runs a 5-year lease and then buy it for $1 at the end. You have an annual payment. So you run five payments and then buy out for $1 at the end of it. And they do that with the total outfit. So you're not just financing the truck and then paying the outfitter to do everything separately. They roll that in for municipalities.
Now, we still have to bid it out and have bids, correct?
Yeah.
We would specify.
Yeah, anything over $75,000.
Right.
Yeah, so that would be something.
So this was just, I wanted to just put some ballpark numbers on it.
Appreciate that, yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud, and maybe this is ignorant, but if we really got into a pickle Is there any resources to rent or short-term, some type of equipment like that that you're aware of?
Now that I'm aware of, because currently usually we're in a pickle, somebody else will say at the same time, so anybody that has something,
Right.
normally not.
Just thinking out loud for a backup plan, but yeah.
Sure. So, yeah, we don't gotta go a whole lot that in-depth with it, but want to make sure it was mentioned and something to put on the burner for now.
Tracy, how do you feel about these numbers in our road department budget?
Him and I've already talked, he said it's just like an estimated
Yeah.
thing for right now,
Yeah.
until we find out what's.
No, I know we're
going
not
on.
voting, but
Yeah.
I mean, how does
But,
that fit into
no,
our
I told
budget?
him sooner, because he said it wasn't gonna be like this year,
Right.
probably like in the near future, but
Right.
like next year or whatever, and I told him, because what, we got 5 years, is that what it was? That you could go like 5 years.
And just do a
And do
one yearly.
What is it, a
annual
yearly
payment?
annual, yeah, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking either that or look into another USDA loan.
Yeah.
Like we did for this, you know, low interest loan to try to, but I didn't realize that they had that.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely something I'll look into and, bring back to the board.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Everybody's aware.
Did you get these from Fairway or?
Yeah, that was just them, yeah, just they were
Easy to
local.
go to? Okay.
And, the owner lives here in town. Just wanted to check with him first, I guess.
Okay.
So that's all I have. On that aspect of that, so the budget-wise and stuff as well as that goes, so the OWP grant.
The grant.
So that went, Mike Collins sent me the numbers for Wagner Road from Bandy Road east to, say, Route 14. Our local share would be $137,000. So I talked with Tracy and we decided that that was probably not money well spent
Yes.
currently, so.
It's an awful lot of money for that.
Right.
Yes, it is, for our half, that's our half.
Right.
And the last time, like when we did Bandy, we used our, ARPA money, so, yeah.
So, just so you're aware, I want to make sure it's brought up.
That was on my agenda, yeah. I was gonna ask you for an update.
I didn't put it on the report, but I did want to please touch on it.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this road stuff?
But I think the road's gonna survive and I don't think it's that bad that we can't put
No,
them off
because
for
we
another
just
year.
did chip and seal
Yeah.
2 years, last year?
That was 2
Last
years
year,
ago.
2?
Yeah. Because
And then
the
we-
east end's getting done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any questions on the road stuff?
No.
So I jumped to cemeteries. The only thing I had was the dead tree. Is Raylan still going to take that tree down?
I just went over and took a picture of the tree today and sent it to him, and he said, I'll get on that.
Okay, because there was a individual that reached out to me that lives in Lindburg that has a tree service and seen it during the Memorial Day parade.
Mhm.
Was inquiring whether we needed a quote.
He's gonna go out and give a quote.
I mean, we can get another quote.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Absolutely.
mean, go ahead. He's gonna get me one. So if you wanna do that.
Who was it?
Oh, heck. Billster, maybe?
Okay. It never hurts.
Yeah,
I mean, we were
never
really
hurts.
happy with
Yeah, he's
it, but
getting up and
absolutely.
going. He's got his own tree service going on, so that's, he was had his own float or something that he went in the cemetery during the ceremony and stuff, so he'd seen it and just was reaching out. That was
Sure.
about 2 weeks ago.
It doesn't look unsafe, but it definitely needs dressed.
The top of it's dead.
So,
We don't have to bid that out, but I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, it never hurts to get a couple quotes.
I figured Raylan's might have just been busy, I wasn't sure, but I also know.
No, I reached out
Now,
to
is
him
is that the
today.
one that had the, part of it was leaning down and was dangerous, and we did emergency?
No, he took care of that. That was in the winter.
This one's back there, just past that
Yeah, I have a picture.
drive on the left. If you go up Center Drive, just past that, in the center of that area right there.
It's this. It's that one. Hold on.
It's the dead one.
That one's dead.
I'll give them a call tomorrow, just have to put it on the report.
Yep, okay.
So that's all I have cemetery wise. Buildings and grounds, the only main thing I have is they're having issues, the fire department with the squad bay door opener. The door is 30 years old, had H&W come out and put external antenna on, and it did not it made it slightly better, but not really. You can open it, but once you're out the door, you can't get to close. So, we had looked at possibly moving one of the other openers, from the other doors that don't get used over, but that guy said the same thing, the antennas the receivers are terrible long, and by the time we do all that, we'll be not much cheaper than.
It's 30 years, we got our money's worth out of it.
So,
Say, there's nothing more frustrating than trying to close that door as you're pulling out. Trust me.
Absolutely.
I know
I
that.
did vouch for that
You
too.
jump out and push it,
Yeah, exactly.
then the eyes catch you, and, oh yeah.
So the estimated cost on that was $750 from each.
So if we vote on $800, you can tell them, sorry, that's all I budgeted
Yep.
for. Okay. I'll make a motion, we pay up to $800 to replace the garage door opener.
I'll second.
Yes,
Laura? Yes. Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn?
yes.
Okay, any questions on that?
I do have one more question for you, I just thought about it, it's actually more roads and grounds, but, topping off the walking path. That's a part of our grant, is just to fix up some of the low spots and top that off. Do we have gravel to do that?
So if you are okay with some of the number 8 slag.
I mean, is that safe and nice to walk on?
You just can't put it on thick, because it doesn't like walk together real good, but. if
Would
not-
it be in our budget to get a truckload of limestone and just top some of that off, because some of it's getting a little low?
Is
So
it
that-
the same kind of slag you put on the cemetery drive? Or is that different?
That's number 9.
Oh, it's smaller.
And most
Which
of
it
what we
lost
have in there
there.
is small,
Yeah.
because it's easier to walk on.
Right.
So that would come out of the general department. So they have to ask Tracy. We could buy a lease, so-
Well, we've got $500 left from the grant, because it was like, what was it, 25,000?
That's already accounted for,
Yeah.
because we had to pay for some like chain and some other things that were required, so we
Oh,
don't.
okay, no.
Yeah, we
We have
Okay,
0
but-
left in
no.
the grant.
It depends on how much you want, because what is it, $38 a ton?
Yes, but
And most of it is okay, but some of it does need topped off a little bit. What would you think it would require to top some of that off that needs it?
I'd like to see us get one load.
One load?
25, 28 tons.
So, of the number 9,
Yes.
I vote that we get one truckload of the number 29 to top off the
So
walking
what are you
path.
saying, 20 ton? What is
20,
my
it'd be like 20, or they normally run out with like 27. 25, 27.
Number 9, limestone? You don't have a price there.
Do you have an estimate?
It's like $38, isn't
So
it?
about 30, yeah, about 38.
So,
So up to $1,200? Yeah, I'll move that we top off the walking path up to $1,200 with the number 9 limestone.
I'll second.
Yes,
okay, Laura? Yes. Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn?
Yes.
We also have a few benches that were donated that are in our cemetery room. We need to pick a spot to put those, so
Okay,
we'll
just-
look at it this week.
Just briefly walk through that with Vaughn, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
we'll figure out how we can get them out over there, get them anchored in.
It'd be nice to put them somewhere shady, but the places that are close that you can see them aren't really shady, so it's kind of a tough thing to pick a great
Nice
spot.
pasture area.
Maybe I'll walk it and I'll see when I get tired, and put the bench there.
so you're gonna say, right there.
Yeah, right there, right up front. Thank you, that's all I have.
One other thing, you're all set for the 811 training? I haven't heard
Oh,
anything.
yep.
Yeah, so that's,
Tomorrow?
so I do need to send a reminder out that the other guys connect to, so Lexington, I believe, is going to attend, Elmira, Edinburgh. I need to reach out to Berlin, I believe they were going to come. And then there is a concrete contractor that, Fiscal one in Sutcliffe, and asked if he could join. We have room, so.
I was gonna ask.
It'll be
yeah.
like 6 or 8 guys, from, so it'll be, just so you.
I was gonna ask him if it included contractors also, or just public workers.
Yeah, he said that he was supposed to get in that class over there, and they got tired of lunch out, it's, Ryan, big shop. I agree, called Sutfield, realized that he just, I didn't figure it was gonna be a big,
Yeah.
big plan around. He was worried about seating area, to make sure we had enough. If I'll send a reminder, I'll estimate.
Send me a receipt for the limestone when you get it, just a copy of it, great. Put that in
It'll
there.
get billed, it'll get sent to Tracy, so we'll make sure you get a copy of it.
Yep, yep, sounds good, thanks, Tim. Thank you, Tim. Any,
Oh, more,
yep,
cemeteries, how are we doing on the Hartsel Road fence? We're gonna put up the makeshift fence until we.
There's stakes up there.
Yeah, so we have the road sign posts we put in there, keep the guy from driving there, which is working, but we can go get a roll of that wire. That's what Mike Brown's paid for, yeah. That's what he's donated for.
So we should get what he donated.
Yes, it'd be the woven wire and T-posts.
so hopefully we can replace very quickly with a grant.
So, okay.
That was.
Put it up strong enough to last, but not easy enough to take down Thursday.
You got it,
Okay.
yeah, you're picking up what I'm throwing down.
I went out and took pictures, he walked. He saw me as soon as I showed up, come over and we walked in and looked at it.
You don't miss too much.
No, he doesn't.
You're usually there
He
about
is.
half, he's usually there.
I thought I was under surveillance because I literally got out of the truck and he ran over there.
Another thing under buildings and grounds, I got a whole list. A whole bunch of. Can we get a key for the buildings down there?
Oh, yeah, because we've got that new cage around it, and I don't know if nobody has a key to it.
We can just keep it in the records room so
Yeah.
that we can just, instead of getting all three of us a key, we can just have a key in our records room.
What do we call that building? The big barn out by the ball fields,
Park storage.
park storage.
And do we have any of the concrete repair that we did I guess it's been quite a few years ago, Chris said that we did repair on the front block?
Yeah, so we can resurface that again. I would say that, I don't know, we get another year out of it, but it seems like every winter it pops.
Yeah,
At least
that one's, the other stuff's holding up pretty well, but that one side
Yeah, it will
needs
work.
fixed, yeah. Okay.
Gazebo plans, you wanna?
Well, I don't know if it affects him too much, but yes, I talked to the building department today. They still haven't okayed the plans. He hasn't got the updated plans yet, but he does feel we are close enough to go ahead and bid it out. So I'd like to tonight go ahead and start advertising for bids to be open at the next trustees meeting. And we'll have to put in per the, what's going to be updated, which shouldn't add too much to the price.
And does he have a digital copy of it that will be sent out, or how do you want to do that?
Well, I will have, I believe I have the digital copy that he sent me of what we have so far, and I have the paper copy also. So I'm going to be working on that real quick so we can get that sent out and advertised, get some estimates for that. I want to move on that. He gave me some ideas and sent me some stuff on how to do the bid package. Doesn't sound like it should be too much according to him. I also got what the county engineers does for big packages, and I can maybe erase and add or something to that. I haven't looked over that yet. I think we should just, instead of having the architect do it, I think we should just do it so we get it done quicker and move forward. I'd like to open up bids next week.
Okay.
So,
If you wanna email me whatever you want me to post on the website, I can do that.
okay. I'll probably need to go bring that stuff up too, so.
With me? Okay.
And then the insurance should be covered, majority of that.
Yes, but that's why we need this bid.
We have to hurry up.
Estimates, so the insurance company knows how much they're gonna have to pay. And if they need to go after the guy that did it for more money. Because I
Before we
think
run
we've
out of
already
time.
got up to $60,000 before we spent some of that already for tearing down
Yes.
Well, we didn't get it, they went ahead and paid.
the contract.
Yeah, everybody, they've been paying everybody directly. This is where, yeah.
And one more quick thing on buildings, we have a refrigerator that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Tracy's got a new theory on why it's acting up, but I did call Grove where we got that today. We bought that what should I say, 2021, so it's about 5 years old. They do not make parts for that refrigerator, that brand anymore, they don't carry them, and it would be $119 to get them to come and look at it, but they made no guarantees they could do anything about it since they cannot get parts. I got a quote from them to replace it with something very similar because they don't make that anymore. It would be a Frigidaire, 19 cubic feet. The ones we have are 17, so just ever so slightly bigger. Delivered would be $1,049. I wanted to see if you guys wanted to entertain approving that, pending that actually not working.
Would you say what, $1,000?
$1,049, and that would be delivered with a 1-year warranty. If we paid an extra $169, we could get a 5-year warranty, which might not be a bad idea. So I wanted to open that up and see what you guys thought. I mean, if we can get it working consistently, no need, but it might not be bad to be able to replace that, because when you have a big rental here, they use up every space in those refrigerators. And it's a bummer when you think there's 2 refrigerators and you don't have enough room for all your stuff. So.
How much for the additional?
$169 for the 5-year
So
warranty.
it's 1,000 for the fridge, roughly 1,000.
So if we were to buy 2, it would be $999 each. But the other one seems to be working fine. I just asked if it would be worth it, like a big discount to get the 2. And I'm not aware of anywhere else where we need to put a new refrigerator. So, yeah, the one would be $1,049. They deliver it and get it set up and
an additional $169
for the warranty,
extended warranty.
So I don't know if that's something you guys want to do and just see if that does pull down. Tracy mentioned something about it being blocked and maybe not shutting all the way. We need to fiddle with it a little bit.
Yeah, we need to take those, just so we don't have a problem, the bottom on the doors, we need to take those plastics off. Because when somebody puts a big oversized, even when we cater, and you put those pans in there, they hit the plastics from the shelves from the door hits that, and it doesn't seal.
It comes out like that.
Yes, and it doesn't seal. So if we take those off the bottom, I think we'd be better off. Because that's what happened last time. I'm just saying that's what happened last time.
I mean, if that's all it takes, then
Well, we
that'd
could
be
try
great.
that and readdress this in a month and see if we still have problems.
Because I didn't know until I went in here for the meeting. And I walked in there to get the water. It was on the bottom shelf. And that's there's 40 bottles of water in there, and there's plastic for milk jugs, the wide ones, was there, and it wasn't sealed when I opened it. So that's the only reason.
But I've been fiddling with it all weekend too, and it was empty, and I kept trying to reset it and shut the doors, and it wasn't getting cold, but maybe there was something blocking it, I don't know. But I would like to make a motion that we do purchase, if that one does not work, a new refrigerator from Grove, $1,049, and also purchase the 5-year warranty of $169.
Are we done with 10?
I think so. It's still buildings, but
Yeah,
Second.
yes. Does that include, take away the old one?
Will they haul it off?
I didn't ask. Does Grove usually take them?
Yeah, they will.
Usually.
Yep.
Yeah, they will.
Laura?
Yes.
Yes.
Vaughn, yes.
We'll just keep an eye on it and see if it gets pulled after we identify a possible problem.
I have one other thing.
What you got?
In regards to Browns, baseball's over, so
yeah.
I would like to have them pick up the other porta potty, porta john that's out there. We're paying $200 a month for it.
I think we have August 20th.
We're paid out to August 20th?
Yes, we won't reimburse. I think,
So if we
oh
call
no,
them now.
because we're in July, I'm sorry. So July 20th, make sure if you call
I'll call
tomorrow, and then we won't
Yeah.
have to.
Okay.
Okay.
It's Steve's service.
Yeah, in Sebring.
Yeah, I know, because I booked them to bring it out, because they're done, and I see theirs,
Yep,
theirs
save
is
us
gone.
$200
Yeah,
a month.
$200 a month.
If you want to use the porta john, here's your chance. It's going away.
Didn't you say they were putting, storing stuff in it?
Oh, and Tim mentioned something about a bench being found in the porta
There was a
john.
bench in the porta john?
Kids horsing
So
around.
there was, so the 4th of July weekend, they had stacked all the picnic tables and made a fort or something over there under the, and then they had 4 benches out on field 3, and they had one and then 40 home.
Great. I'll call and cancel that tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, sorry.
Back to me, do I need a motion or anything to do those bids, or we can just send them out and start advertising?
Well, let's just do it, that way we have it, yep.
Yeah, do a motion.
Yeah, motion, I make a motion that we advertise,
Okay.
that we advertise for bids for the construction of a gazebo in the circle.
I'll second.
I vote yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn, yes.
All right, anything else? Road department, maintenance, buildings, or grounds?
Just to let everybody know, I dropped the dumpster down the monthly.
Okay.
Tracy, the one that's out by the maintenance shed, or the storage shed out there.
Okay,
I dropped it to monthly.
okay,
Baseball's gone, and it'll save us some money.
okay.
Good deal. All right. I know we already had Derek speak. Anything else on the fire department? Are we good? Okay. New business, I have the fire levy and the refrigerator, so we've got that. Old business.
Old business, I have old business and new business. Tracy, maybe you can get this,
Write it down when you cancel and give it back to me so I can file it. Okay. Okay, sorry.
maybe we can get this for next meeting, or if you want to email it to me, where we're at on our no-pack monies.
Okay, I can do that, I can put it in your mailbox.
Okay, thank you.
Could you also
Because they-
email us the fire levy that we need to update?
I can do the folder. It's all in there.
Okay.
It's in the folder. I don't have it on my way in computer.
Oh, you can't email it? Okay.
No, because we switched, but
Okay.
I've got the whole folder in there.
Yeah,
That
that'd
we
be
can
helpful,
just-
so we can use that to bring
Yeah,
revenue
do your
in.
resolution and, this is the 1.75.
The other thing under new business is I've been going through the cabinets in the trustee's office, and there's a whole bunch of plans for just about everything that's been proposed or has been built, from fire station, town halls, to building a garage on the town hall property, a patio, and I'm getting them down, putting them away, labeling them, so we don't have to go through them to find out what they are. I'm finding a lot of duplicates, probably because when we bid stuff out, we'd have copies for people to take or whatever. Is there a procedure that I can use to get rid of the duplicates? I know there's a procedure for originals, or that we have plans, but do you know if there's anything about duplicates? Do I need to keep them?
We adopted the Ohio Historical Plan for record keeping, so I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but that's the
You
policy
can
we
call
have.
them, yeah, you can call them and ask them
Mhm.
about the duplicates.
Ohio
because-
Historical Society. And they
You
might
should
have a
have
new
a-
name, but if you look them up, that'll still pull
Yeah.
up. Yes? No?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, you were working on, town hall rental?
Yep, we're working on redoing the forms, that way they're a little bit more up to date, and we are going to give people instructions on how to use the keypad entry, how to lock up, how to do all of those things, so just to simplify the process. Work in progress, we're
Work in
getting there,
progress?
yep.
But we're making headway on it.
Tedious work in progress that we're getting, because there's a lot of forms we're trying to update, but we'll get those all to you, and, yeah. Just needs a little bit of updating to make it a little easier on everybody else. Still no glitter, still no farm animals, but everything else will be a little changed. What else you got, Vaughn?
That's it?
I have some things about team office technology. We have already approved using them to update all of our firewalls and safety games, which is something we legally have to do. He gave us an invoice, it was $5,665.40. That was the lump sum to get everything updated, the new computers, the phone system, everything to get us up to date. He offered to give us payment plan, which would cost, I believe it was like $2,000, Laura, if you remember more, over 5 years. But I just wanted to see if everybody was comfortable, and I talked to Tracy about this, and we have the money to pay the lump sum, because it's gonna save us money in the long run. So I would move that we pay it in a lump sum, $5,665.40.
I will second that.
Yes?
Laura?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn? Yes.
Tom did give us, we're getting a new printer that we can actually use. That's been one of, if anybody wants to know what is bothering me today, it's that I can't print anything when I come here. It's very annoying, but we're getting a new up-to-date printer with all of this, but this was the first bill for the toner. And this should last us, like, I think he said a year. So I'll give you that, Tracy.
Well, thank you.
And then also, if any of you are computer savvy, you know it's really hard to do anything without Microsoft, Word, Excel, all of those things. So I did talk to Tom about getting us some subscriptions to that. Tracy, is that something that you would need or you already have?
I already have,
Okay.
but thank you.
Yeah, so to give basically per license, and the way he looked at it, it would be the cheapest way for us to go. It would be $252 per license, and per license you would get 3 devices, but we couldn't share a license. So like if you want to put it on your phone and your laptop or whatever. So I wanted to see if this was something you guys were interested in. I know everybody's struggling because we all use different things to email back and forth, and I know Laura was working on the cemetery grant and it has to be in Word and she doesn't have it. So it's kind of first world problems. But I wanted to make a motion that 1, 2, 3, 4, do you need it? That we purchased 4 licenses for the Microsoft 360 at $252 a piece. That's a motion.
200 what?
$252 each, and those are indefinite, they don't ever go away.
We have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, have a look.
How about, second?
I vote yes.
Because that is very frustrating.
Yeah, Vaughn and I are in the same boat.
Laura?
I vote yes.
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Here, Laura, this is for you. I just need you, when you cancel it, did you give me that back? When you cancel it,
Right,
right?
cancel with the date.
Yeah.
You got it.
That's what you talked. When
Yeah,
you talked
you got
about
it.
it in my mailbox. Thank you.
You'll get a call tomorrow.
All right. Do you have anything on the cemetery grant you needed to discuss or do, or needed from us?
Not at this time, but
Okay.
if I do, I know who to go to.
All right.
Because I think that's due before next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was due the 31st.
Yes.
And we already obeyed her to go after the next round.
I believe we did,
correct.
yes.
Everything is in order.
Yeah.
And the only other old business that I wanted to talk about just very briefly was the Civic Quincentennial event. I want to thank the fire department for helping. I want to thank all the vendors who came out, all the clubs that sold things. We had a free DJ. We had a lot of fun events. So just want to thank everybody for that. I thought that was a great event.
It was very good. I had a good time, even though I was like the second person to drop the egg. I wasn't the first out, but I was the second.
You guys practice.
It went all over my pant leg.
You guys practice.
I
Well,
know,
it's on
I
video.
thought it was
You can't
better.
deny it. All right. You know, this is the question nobody ever likes, but do we need a second meeting this month?
No.
Tracy?
No.
I didn't think so either. So I move that we adjourn the meeting and pay our bills.
I second.
Second, Laura. Laura?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Vaughn?
Yes.
You're talking with the Ohio Historical Society.
Hey, I have